So I was 6 years old. I was big into Harry Potter, and I discovered this thing called movie making. And it was an exciting time for me. I learned a program. My mom was very technically savvy back in the day, and so she taught me a program called Macromedia Director, which is an animation program. And it kickstarted this lifelong love of producing, movies and films. And through the years, as I got older, I went through school and I ended up producing many different short films as school projects, video essays and things of that nature when I was young. And I had an amazing set of teachers that kind of allowed me to think outside the box, do projects creatively. And when I was in high school, I thought I was going to be an electrical engineer. Loved math, loved physics, and I never had the career discussion with my parents. My dad worked at Dell for about a decade, so I like to say I got my MBA sitting on the floor of his office playing with trucks while he would be on Dell conference calls because I learned so much from him about that. And being in that world of Dell, of course, the story of Michael Dell was always front in my mind. And so I said, man, it would be so cool to be able to do something like that one day. So I went down this path of electrical engineering and computer building because I was actually building my own computers specifically for the purpose of producing super high-end, complex special effects and visual effects for my film projects, which was my passion in my free time. And when I was a sophomore in high school, I kind of had this epiphany moment where I thought, hey, maybe I don't want to be an electrical engineer anymore. Maybe I want to be a filmmaker. And so I had a very scary conversation with my dad. He handled it in the best way possible. I was walking with him one day outside. I said, Dad, I don't think I want to be an electrical engineer. And I had no idea what he was going to say and react with. But he said, John Byron, if you want to be a filmmaker, you pursue your passion. And I said, yeah, I'll be supportive of whatever you end up deciding, which is the best thing that a dad could say. And so I did. And the funny part of the story that I didn't is he said, who knows, maybe one day you'll start a software company. And this is not made up. He's just like, visionary in that way. And the funny part is I said, no, Dad, I have no good software ideas. And at the time I didn't. So I ended up realizing I could get paid doing what I love with this filmmaking thing. I founded my film production company when I was a junior in high school. I ran that for about a decade through the rest of high school, through the rest of college, and for a couple of years after. It became #1 here in Austin for corporate film production work. I also did a bunch of like music videos because that's what I really like. Not like people playing instruments, but like beautiful, huge cinematic, like the epic, true cinema music videos. And super successful at that. Had a lot of fun doing it too. Actually got to work with my favorite band of all time, which was pretty awesome as well. But it wasn't scaling the way that I wanted it to. So this was around 2017 timeframe when deep fakes and synthetic content were just starting to become a thing. And being in that executive communications and corporate communications world doing, C-suite level video content, I saw that there was a huge opportunity that in the next couple of years, we could realistically synthesize a virtual digital version of a person so that instead of having to, spend over 50% of the production time setting up the equipment, moving to the set, building out the set, having the person sit down and record it, and then unpacking all of that equipment and having to edit the video, you could instead type into a text box what you wanted the person to say, and they would say it. And that was like just such an exciting idea for me because, as somebody who was running a lot of these productions, it was very frustrating to do all that logistics work. So I said, if we could figure out a way to build something that could be forward looking into this space of what generative AI now is called in regard to video, that could be a really big deal.